Hello, welcome back to another sketchbook tour because I have filled another sketchbook. It's a tiny little red one this time with a little Tabasco bottle on it. It's not a sticker for me, but I think it fits really well. Yeah, this book already fell apart. You see this? But it's still full of ideas and colors, so I think we need to check it out. Okay? Let's go. So here it is. It's a Royal Talens 12 by 12 centimeters Art Creation sketchbook in red this time. It's my favorite sketchbook, definitely. I like the creamy pages, the off-white pages. And this is the first page, and I always put down the dates. I started in August in 23, and I finished it in the beginning of January in 24. I wasn't used to the date yet, so that's why I of course put 2023 first, and then I realized my mistake. Well, so these are lots of stickers from artists I admire or I know, and I really like this colorful start. And after the colorful start there is nothing. No, I don't like this page a lot because now you can't see it anymore, but maybe now because it's not really attached or weirdly attached. So this is how we start. It's German, and it's mainly brush pens and Pigma microns with a brush nib and jelly rolls in neon colors. I think it's the first time I ever used them, but I like the effect and the outline. And because I like the combination of brush pens and jelly rolls, I explored the combination even more. Not so sure, but I believe there was also some brush pens behind, which I painted over with gouache, and then I put even more gouache on top of it. I went to Berlin to give a workshop on how to work with Ecolina brush pens, and so there's a lot of examples like this one as well. Ecolina brush pens, Pigma microns and jelly rolls. Same combination, different color combination, but I really like this lilac. This is the German or the Berlin word for a bun, a breakfast bun. So they have different names in all over Germany, depends on where you are. And Schrippe is the word they use in Berlin. Same thing. And here I was sitting at the beach because it was still summer and I had this kind of beer. And I just got out some brush pens and started putting them down in the sketchbook. So, and here you see a very nice color palette. It's the color palette we used for our online creative sessions. We have quarterly, so there's a summer, spring, fall and winter edition of it, and this was the fall edition, and this is the fall colors. It's a mixed media online session, so first thing we always do is swatch the colors, and that's what I did. And then we start with little sessions, and I'm not doing it by myself. I'm one of the hosts, and Sophie is the other host, and there was a image she taught us how to do. It's gouache and wax pastels and colored pencils, and that's another one of this creative night. And then I guess I switched to a different sketchbook, but we do a lot of images in one night, in 1.5 hours. Yeah, and here I put just down some colors, and I think I used them here. I think I was drawn to this brush pen color because it was still summer, and yeah, reminds me of beach. But then fall hit and there were lots of chestnuts, and my kids like to collect them, so yeah, I like to draw them. There is no fall without mushrooms. I think there is no sketchbook without mushrooms in it. Sketchbook for me. So, chestnut, pumpkins, mushrooms. Oh, and this is the first color palette, the first tryout, and I think it was even the final one. For a color palette we used on our mixed media retreat, which we hosted. It took place in November, north of Berlin, and I really, really like the colors. Oh, I'm still a big fan of this palette. Yeah, I used some pens from the colors, not all of them, but yeah, I was starting to explore the color palette. I'm a big fan of yellow ochre. I think it's my favorite color ever. So I don't know, it brightened up my mood when I see this yellow. More brush pens and acrylic markers. These are the new Stabilo pen. These ones. Pen 68 Max, and I love the chisel nib. So yeah, I really tried them out a lot. Collecting some fallen leaves. And this is actually the color palette of the Stabilo Boss in Nature Tones, which also came out in yeah, fall this year. An alphabet with brush pens, more brush pens. Acrylic markers. I think I was trying out an acrylic marker which was in a goodie bag of an event I went to. Neon colors again, mixed with brush pens. This is a brush pen, or the Ecolino Duo tip, which has 2 tips, one chisel nib and one pointed nib, so I combined them here. They are all done with the Stabilos, these leaves, and it's pretty dirty because yeah, I also used this Faber-Castell Pitt Graphite Matte, and my sketchbook broke. I don't know, all of a sudden. It's the first time this happened to me, but yeah, I ignored. I still filled the book. More mushrooms, letters, stamps. I carved a lot of stamps last year, so yeah, I tried out some color combinations here. More colors. I think I went to the art store and bought some more colored pencils, so yeah. This is actually also a stamp, and yeah, pencils, some pattern, colored pencils, brush pens. Yeah, there's also Stabilo Boss in black with a chisel nib, so that's how I did this lettering. And this is actually gouache, can you see it? That is metallic gouache. More mushrooms. And this is a color palette. You will see more in this little book. I tell you more about it. Oh, there you go. We launched a mini guidebook about colored pencils, and with 13 of these really nice Devon colors. And this is one of them, actually, Green Earth. It's actually this one. And with this little guide, you get a lot of inspiration on how to draw nutcrackers and pines, right? And yeah, actually these are all the combinations you can do with this little selection of 13 colors. And in the guide we tell you much more about it. And yeah, this is the first time I used this color combination, and I think I really like the green earth, I like the pine, I like the salmon color, all of them. But back to lettering and fast sketching, acrylic colors in the back, and I think this is even jelly roll. Oh yeah, and this is the color palette I showed you before, or here, because this is this color palette used here. We went to Berlin for this mixed media madness retreat I was telling you about, and of course we did a lot of sketching and drawing there, and this was me trying to come up with some lettering and some ideas. More of this, see, again acrylic marker in the back in yellow ochre. More of the nice color palette. During this retreat we threw a lot of apples actually. So I came up with a bit more abstract version of it. This is a gouache, but very watery, and colored pencils. And same combination here. The letters are painted with a flat brush and gouache, and then colored pencils. And this is again from the guidebook about the colored pencils, called Nette Palette, but this special edition is called Die netten Winterpaletten, because the motifs are basically from wintertime, nutcrackers and pines, more of them, and more mushrooms of course, with leftover stems. And this is actually stickers we had in our goodie bag for the mixed media retreat. And this is Ecoline liquid watercolor. I think it's the first time I used it like that in a sketchbook, and yeah, I like it. Yeah, I told you we painted a lot of apples, so this was one of the projects we did there. So we painted the back with gouache, and then we just left this one in white, and then we filled the little spaces with colored pencils. Oh yeah, you see this idea I was trying out here, 3D letters, same thing, different words, different colors, but still from the color palette. Oh yeah, bugs, lots of bugs. Beetle party. Yeah, they're basically all mixed media, brush pens and acrylic markers. More nutcracker with colored pencils, of course. Here you see the color palette. Yeah, and a little red. Oh, and this time I was sitting in Cologne actually while I was painting this in a little cafe, and there were some books lying around, and one was about plants for small rooms, and I picked it up, and there were little old illustrations and really liked them, so they inspired me to do this. And it's brush pen, but on top it's a jelly roll, and there's so many jelly rolls. So first time I used the jelly roll glazed in colored, and I love the combination of the glossy jelly rolls and brush pen, which is more or like matte. So this is not the last time I used this. Nutcrackers. Oh yeah, this is again a page I painted with gouache. I think, yeah, I must have had some leftover paint, or maybe I painted something which I didn't like. I don't remember anymore. But I want to talk to you about the stamps which I carved. Look at these, the little French press and Chemex. So I had to try them out somewhere. I did. Gouache and stamps work really well, in case you didn't know that. Here I used a Pantone marker. Really nice colors. And colored pencils. Again, French press. And some coffee beans. And here the background again, graphite marker. I really like the black. This is the color palette of one of these, but in mixed media, because at the beginning, remember, we had this color palette we used for our online session, the fall edition, and this was for the winter edition. And this is actually a lettering we did, which is watercolor and fine liner, Pigma microns. This is a live stream we did on Instagram, you can still watch it. Also about Nette Palette and the guides. And here again, you see, maybe you can see it, that it's a bit glossy, the outline here, because it's Jelly Roll clays. So I kind of got stuck with this color palette, but that's okay. Yeah, a little still life from our Christmas break in Germany. Yeah, the days in between Christmas and the New Year are slow days. Sometimes you have time to paint. Yeah. Some letterings, colored pencils. And I think this is the last page, because the New Year started and actually the book is filled. Lots of stickers, just like in the beginning. And this is how it went. Yeah. Good times. Thank you, Sketchbook. Talk to you next time. I hope you enjoyed the tour.